The Camp Care family is a family nobody wants to join, but for those who have to, the camp can have a profound impact on the kids and really the entire family. That's exactly the experience the Deville family has had when their daughter Katie was diagnosed with cancer in 2004.
That's me.
These days, Katie Deville is your average 14-year-old girl, and like most kids, she has fond memories of summer camp.
Free time at the lake house or the craft cabin. It's all very fun. There's no shortage of things to do. You're never bored. They always have activities, and that was always my favorite.
Her mom Bridget's view of Katie is a little more complicated.
I see her, and sometimes it feels like that what happened to her happened a lifetime ago, and sometimes it's like it was yesterday, and I just think she's such an amazing young woman.
What Katie's been through is cancer, diagnosed at the age of 5 with rhabdomyosarcoma. She's in remission now after a tough fight.
She was, it was about 1.5 to 2 years between treatment and surgeries. Yeah, I mean, she had a lot of surgeries for the type of cancer she had. A lot of treatments. And it was, when I remember when Dr. McMahon was her oncologist, he is our oncologist, when he first told us about camp, she was so excited. And it did give her something to look forward to when she was in it. She couldn't wait.
5 more months, 4 more months, 2 more weeks. It was like a countdown, like keep going, and then I'll get to camp.
Camp Care is where kids with cancer go to summer camp along with their doctors and nurses and even their siblings.
When your child gets cancer, your whole family has it emotionally, mentally. It affects everybody. Suddenly, mom's not around a lot, or there's a lot of sickness and scary, and I remember home nurses and lots of medicine around the house.
Once at camp, kids with cancer are just kids, and what a difference it makes.
You're not the cancer kid anymore.
Right.
And it's you just feel you fit in. You're not looked twice upon for not having any hair. You're not singled out. It makes it seem like it's not a big deal.
Camp gives them an outlet to go there and talk to other children and hear their stories, and they get to be around the nurses and the doctors and hear and see them as people too. Because I think one of the key things camp does is it brings these oncologists and the nurses there, and they're in shorts and they're playing with the kids, and they're not doctors anymore. They're not nurses. Dr. McMahon goes every year.
And this is probably one of my first years, and that's my oncologist, Dr. McMahon.
You remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She loves him, and I think a lot of that has to do with the camp experience, is seeing him jumping with the rope swing or go play with the kids, and they get that interaction with them as people, not just all this sickness.
The impression Camp Care has made on Katie is a lasting one.
Seeing the older kids, or just other kids in general, healthy, happy, it was hope. That's kind of the reason I still go, just because I want those kids to feel the way I did when I went. I could be them. I could be okay and happy.
She wants to continue to give kids hope. And a lot of times it's something that's, hard to come by when you're in the middle of all this.
Just as Camp Care gave Katie hope, it also had a profound impact on her family. Her younger brother Jackson and her older sister Lauren both went to camp with Katie.
I think when you bring a kid who has not had cancer there, they also get a different perspective. Because yes, they've seen cancer in their sibling, but they also see how other kids are and, what it means to be sick and be healthy at the same time.
I think, what's interesting, when Lauren went, she was very protective of Katie. And I think when she got there and realized Katie was fine, she got to kind of be a kid too and quit worrying so much. And she made her own friends. For Jackson, it's really interesting when he came back, asking him, did you make friends? And I tried to ask him, well, was it a sibling? He was oblivious. To him, it didn't matter if they were sick or not. They were just kids. And that, to me, was the most telling thing about camp, is that it didn't register in his mind if they were sick kids or just brother or sister. It was just kids having fun.
I would say it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it gives children that had cancer to feel like they didn't have cancer before, like they had a normal childhood.
And yes, even though Bridget didn't get to go stay at camp with her daughter, it's had a big impact on her too.
And I know even as a parent, going to camp and seeing the older campers when she first went, and she was so fresh out of treatment, and it's so scary those first couple of years afterwards. She's just holding your breath. And to see all these kids that are teenagers and hear that it's been years, you do, it gives, as for me, I walked away going, wow, you know, she can be okay, you know, it might be okay.
Without going through it, it's hard to imagine how just a single week of summer camp can provide so much healing for these kids and their families. But because they're there with other kids in the same fight, and the medical professionals, the doctors, the nurses, volunteering their week, who are in the fight with these kids year-round, you put it all together, and miracles do happen.
I think one of the things is it gives these kids independence. Because, you know, when they're sick, you've got a bunch of hovering mommies who are worrying themselves and following them around and going, oh, don't do that, you might fall. They get to go to camp and mom's not there worrying they're going to break. They're letting them be kids. If you fall, it's okay to be a kid and have a skinned knee or a bruise. Mom's not going to freak out and want to go to the hospital. You know, they get to just be children. And I think one of the refreshing things is, you know, there are children who've lost a limb, who are scarred. They are there in treatment, they don't have hair. And I don't know that the other children notice while they're there, because it's just okay to them. And even for the siblings, because they're exposed to it already, you know, to them, it's just, they're just kids, you know, and it's great.
Katie also plans to one day become a counselor at Camp Care to continue to be an example and a symbol of hope to those younger kids still fighting for their lives. Ira Cronin, NBC Charlotte.